Hey guys, it's Tad here from Attack of the Killer Podcast with another Patreon exclusive video. As always, I want to thank you guys for being a Patreon supporter of the podcast. Really makes the podcast worth doing and makes these videos sort of fun for all of us, even though I don't look like I'm having a blast. But I am. And wanted to do another video and not do a book this time. I know you guys just love books, and I love books, but I'm going to go back to my well of toys because that's what I love the most. I got something new to me. It's not exactly a new toy per se. It's fairly new, but something I've been sort of eyeing for a while, and I finally plunged and bought it. So I'll just get right into it. Got the Funko Stranger Things minifigures, and this set here is the 3-pack fall convention exclusive from 2017. You can get a better look here with a little exclusive sticker there. And they've made, I think, 3 or 4 of these 3-packs with all the characters. This has Will the Demogorgon and 11 in her disguise, in her girl costume, I guess you'd say. And the other ones are all sort of standard. They have 11 with buzzed hair and her normal outfit. And this actually has the upside down Will, which you can see he sort of has a bluish tint. And Demogorgon has a closed head where the regular one has an open mouth. I love these minifigures. I will probably in the future do a video about more of these minifigures because that's sort of my current obsession, and my current collection is full of them. But this set, like I said, is an exclusive, but I think they must have made a ton of them because these things were supposed to be exclusive to conventions in the fall of 2017. Then they went up on Amazon, and I was going to jump on them the minute they went up for $24.99, I think, or $29.99 for the set. It sat on my Amazon wish list for since fall, or maybe summer of last year when they went up for pre-order, and never bought them. Well, the other day I was on Amazon. I needed something for the podcast. I needed a microphone or something, and a few other things, and I needed to get to that $25 limit to get the free shipping. It had an add-on item, and I'm like, oh, well, I've had these on my list, and I always check my wish list to see what the cheapest things are if things have dropped. This thing dropped to like $10, and I couldn't resist. It was literally, I think, 10 and change. And for 3 minifigures in this cool little set, I love Stranger Things, but it's not my favorite in the world, and I didn't want to buy a bunch of them. I think this one's really cool just because the unique Will and 11. I don't plan on buying the other sets unless I find them really cheap. But you can actually find this on Amazon. You can get the other sets. They have the other 3-packs with all the other characters. They sort of evenly distribute the characters so that you want to buy all 3. They have those. I've seen them at Target. They even individually box these like all the other minifigures, and they're a little more expensive to buy that way, and they take up more room. I like these little 3-packs. Now, I won't go too far into the history on these, but Funko originally, probably 3 or 4, maybe even more years ago, they bought out this little, or I guess they didn't bought out, but they sort of partnered with this brand called Super 7, and they were making a line of figures called Reaction figures, and they're all based on sort of that 4-inch scale Kenner line, Star Wars back in the 70s, 80s, figures that you loved. And I've shown them to you on my room tour. You can probably see a whole bunch of them right here where my hand is. And I have them all over the room, the Reaction figures. Well, eventually Funko, it was sort of interesting because, like I said, I don't want to go through the whole history, but Super 7, they started this line. Funko saw it, thought, this is really cool, we should partner with them because we have the money to get the licenses that people would like these retro figures in. So they sort of partnered with Super 7, and they got some really cool stuff out. which I think I'll do a different video on because I have so many of them that I would sit here and talk to you for an hour. But eventually, after poor sales of the Reaction line, Funko dropped the Reaction line and sort of gave it back to Super 7. And Super 7's continuing the line of Reaction. They don't obviously have the money or resources and I guess connections to get the same licensing they could get through Funko, which if you're a toy collector at all, you know Funko has their hands in everything. There's, I mean, just unbelievable cereal mascots, horror, any movies, TV show, cartoons. They make up their own stuff. It's insane. Celebrities, anything, sports, anything you can think of, there's a Funko Pop. So it's sort of a bummer to see that line dissipate back to Super 7 just because they don't have the resources, but they have to get more creative, so they're coming up with some really cool stuff I'm excited for. And they actually do have some really cool licensing coming out. They're doing Rocky. Trying to think of Planet of the Apes. They just have some really fun stuff. It's just not as big of a mass appeal, and some of the fans actually like that a little bit more because they're doing more obscure stuff. But long story short, after they dropped it, they sort of started doing these minifigures, and these ones actually have articulation and a little bit more sculpting, but I don't know, it's not exactly the same because of that, the articulation and stuff. It sort of takes away from the retro sculpt, but I do love these minifigures. I don't know what it is about them. They look like shit. They're stupid. They're ugly and old looking. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. I'm a sucker for nostalgia, but I love these stupid things. And none of my friends collect them. They don't understand why I collect them. They don't understand why I like them at all. They don't understand any of the appeal of these things. But you know what? I don't care. They're cheap. They're fun. You can find them fairly cheap. If you're not looking for specific ones like the Jaws ones, those go for a lot of money, and I have them. So the Rocky Horror ones go for a lot of money. I have those. They made some exclusives that are hard to find and stuff. But anyways, I'm going to save that for a different video because I have all kinds of little box sets. But just as a tease, I want to sort of hear, maybe if you're actually watching this, comment down here and let me know if you want more videos. Let me see. I've got Twin Peaks. If you want to see the Twin Peaks set, let me know. If you want to see E.T., if you want me to talk about that, I have, like I said, the Jaws line, and these are awesome. They made a big box set. Even cooler, Aliens, Ripley the Power Loader with the Queen Alien. I'm looking around the room behind the camera, and I got Terminator, Rocky Horror, Taxi Driver, Toxic Avenger, Reanimator, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Breaking Bad, Twilight Zone, Trick or Treat, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Gremlins, Jaws, Karate Kid, Universal Monsters, Alien, Predator, Big Trouble in Little China, Terminator 2. There's everything, man. It's awesome. I love these things. And if you're at all interested in hearing more about them, give us a comment because not that I don't love talking to nobody. I'll talk to my phone for hours, but it's always encouraging when someone leaves a comment. I know there's someone out there watching. You're not going to pay and help us support Patreon and then not view these videos. And maybe you do view them, you just don't get to the end because I never shut the fuck up. But if you do make it to this point, even if you just say hi, just let me know you're watching so I'm not wasting my time. Anyways, that's the end of that video. I just wanted to say that again, thank you for supporting the podcast. Come find our Facebook group. We have an Attack of the Killer podcast Facebook group now. We also, just since I think the last video recorded or even before that, we're on the Prescribed Films Podcast Network. So we have a bunch of new podcasts on there that are fantastic. You'll like all of them. Every one of them is great. And keep listening to the podcast. We have some new special guests coming up. We have some switches around on the podcast. Yeah, if you're watching this, you obviously listen. So thank you for your support. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And comment. I want to hear what you want to see. I always tell you, if you see something over my shoulders in this room that you want to see, even after the video I did of my room, just let me know. I'd love to cater to your wants. I want to know what you want because I can ramble about anything for hours. But thanks again, and I'll see you on the next episode of Attack of the Killer Podcast.